Okay, so auction drafts are very fun. If there's a player you want to get on your roster, you can get him. You just have to figure out how much you're willing to pay for him out of your draft budget. You get to make every decision for every player in the league, so you stay very involved the entire draft. It runs about the same as a snake draft lengthwise, but you'll be involved the entire time. You think there's a simple video that explains how auction drafts works, but nope, couldn't find anything on YouTube, so I'm going to give it a shot here. So every team starts with a budget of $200. This is all fake money. The only money you contribute into the league is the $50 league fee or league dues, which are paid out to the top 3 players at the end of the year. So any money that you hear from now on is all fake money. So don't worry about you're not actually buying players. You will have 16 slot players to fill out with some maximum limits on positions, but no minimum. So you don't have to draft any players. You don't have to draft any quarterbacks, but you do have a limit on how many you can draft. The limits are 4 quarterbacks, 8 running backs, 8 receivers, 3 tight ends, 3 kickers, and 3 defenses. So you can't pick up the entire AFC East kicker squad. When the draft starts, someone, which will be randomly determined by ESPN, will select a player to the auction block. For example, let's say it's Christian McCaffrey for the sake of our examples we're going to be doing here. Everyone will have the opportunity to bid on McCaffrey using ESPN's online platform, either by raising the current bid by $1 or by typing in a bid amount. So you can type in $10, hit send, and you can keep bidding as much as you want. You will be able to see the current highest bid and the amounts that everybody has bid on the player as it happens. So everything's out in the open. You'll be able to see everything. Bidding will continue until nobody has raised for about 5 seconds, at which point ESPN will say going once, going twice, sold. You can still bid during the going once, going twice sold. It'll just push it out further. Once it's sold, that player will be closed out. They'll be put on the team of whoever bid the highest, and that bid amount will be deducted from their $200 budget. So suppose Derek bids $45 on Christian McCaffrey, and Kyle decides he really wants CMC, so he pops the bid up to $46. If nobody else has a remaining budget, if nobody else bids, then Kyle gets McCaffrey, and now has a remaining budget of $154 to build out the rest of his 15 roster spots. At some point, you will get to where you are limited from bidding on a player because your draft budget is too low. So let's say that Jessica has $26 left in her draft budget and Julian Edelman is on the draft block for $28. She can no longer bid on him because she doesn't have enough to afford him. You have to spend at least $1 on every player, and you must draft 16 players. Don't worry, ESPN will not let you run out of money before you fill out your roster. Have no idea what overbidding for a player is? Don't worry, ESPN has you covered there. There's a suggested dollar amount next to every player's name. Of course, some players are going to have a higher cost due to popularity, and some might go lower. The suggested dollar amounts were just like an average draft position in a snake draft, so generally just stick close to that and you'll be fine. You're definitely going to want to do a few mock drafts just to prepare yourself for A, the new draft format and getting used to the ESPN system, and B, general budgeting so you don't overspend on too many players. So you know just generally what you can get and when you can get them and what's unrealistic. You're not going to end up with Dalvin Cook, Saquon, Zeke, and Christian McCaffrey. Check the email or check the description of this video and you'll see a link to ESPN's mock draft lobby. You're going to want to pick a 12-team auction draft room to get ready for our draft. If you screw up the draft, don't worry. Fantasy is won on the waiver wire. Whatever money you have left over from the draft is added to your waiver wire budget. Every team starts with $100 in free agency acquisition budget, or FAB, and any money left over from the draft is added to that $100. Every week during waivers, instead of relying on a waiver order, you can bid any dollar amount from your FAB towards a player on the waiver wire in a silent auction. Whoever bids the most wins that player. In the event of a tie, I believe it goes to the player with the lowest current record. Sorry, the team with the lowest current record. But I don't know, we'll just go with whatever ESPN tells us there. You can bid $0 in waivers. So if you see Nick Foles out there on the waiver wire and you don't think anybody else is going to pick him up, you can bid $0. And if nobody else bids, then you got him for free. Once you run out of free agency acquisition budget, you can only bid $0, but you probably won't run out unless you way overbid the rest of the season. And that's it. Make sure you try out a couple of Make sure you try out a couple of mock auction drafts on ESPN to get familiar with it before the actual draft happens in late August. And good luck, everybody. This is going to be fun.